you archaeologists, I'm the Johnstruct. Welcome to the proximity. I am about to begin a Zork Nemesis adventure. And I don't know if you can tell there, but we're on one of those classic 90s FMVs, and it seamlessly evolved into a JPEG that I can click on. It's a very subtle effect. I don't know if you noticed that. Hide this nail. Woo, yes! I definitely haven't spent 40 minutes playing this game muted. That would be awful. This is, of course, not a Zornems. It's a Zork, of course. Zork Nemesis, the Forbidden Lands, apparently, is a part of my Tuesday, Monday's Muddle and Mystery adventure, which I pretend to start at 8, but it's like 10 past 10 at the moment. But in my defense, it was only 9:30 when what's that game? I bet it's a modern one for once. Let's hide that away and put the game back on. The game back. That's the game. That's there. And start a new game. I will say, I thought it was grand. I thought I was doing excellently. Sometimes you start these and you go blah, 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 and you go, I don't want to keep that for posterity. But I thought I was doing great, and then I realised, no, the entire time I was muted. Well, I wasn't muted. The game was muted, and there was a guy talking in the game. Anyway, we don't need this on the screen. Well, I'll tell you what. There's plenty of time to talk in the game, so I'm going to press the new game button. This one right here. Again, don't know if you noticed this, but it's seamlessly gone into FMV. There's some sort of magician. I believe they have stabbed themselves or something. I'm not entirely sure. Wonderful.
No
look.
one remembers exactly when it began, but I'll never forget. It began on the day of the Great Eclipse, on the day of my murder. I've lost my only love, and I've lost my life. Now we all lie under the curse. Sometimes a single act can be so evil it can curse the world, unraveling the future. Only the 4 lost elements will bring the world back into balance. Then I will live again. I have but one hope left, and it is you. No one else dares come here.
Zork Nemesis! Some blood. 4 symbols, which I'm going to assume are the 4 alchemical symbols. I'm sort of used to the triangle, upside down triangle, triangle with wibbly lines, upside down triangle with wibbly lines. I believe the term is inverted triangle. Whatever. This is a courtyard of some sort. I can walk around here. There doesn't seem to be anything to do. It's just a sort of entranceway. We can walk in there later. We'll just double check, of course. Very easy to sort of miss out on stuff. Like, for instance, this gate. Open your bastard. How did we even get in if it's locked behind us? Who knows? Now, this, of course, is a point-and-click adventure game, but Zork is famous for being a text adventure game. And, of course, I am famous for playing games in order. Are you famous for that, John? Totally, I totally am. Among people who know who the fuck I am. But I'm not quite willing to play a text adventure on stream just yet. Perhaps in the future, but not quite yet. And not just the text adventure. I believe the first text adventure, though I'm not 100% sure about that. That looks like an interesting object. But I don't seem to be able to go there, so I guess we're here now. There is this interesting building, the sun and 2 candles. If we walk around, It's flanked on all sides by a sun, 2 candles. There is some sort of archway there that we cannot reach. Sun, 2 candles, just to be sure. Door. Now, obviously, if I've been playing this for 40 minutes, I've seen all this already, but I'm just going to do everything in exactly the same order and try and remember what I said. I had one of those jokes, a banger, as one might say, about what purpose is this room? It's like a cinema, but it's, you know, they're facing each other, so it's clearly for people arguing with each other, and they're like, our candles are the best candles, and they're like, we politely agree, and they're like, what do you mean? I meant disagree. I flubbed my line. Fuck. And they're like, fair enough. And then, okay, let's move forward. We've got a candle here. And this being a computer game, obviously my instinct is to pick up the candle and light the other candles. No more interlacing on this. Oh, never mind. Yes, there is.
Finally, someone has come. You've got to help us. They're in the temple.
There we go. I choose to believe that's the same lady from Realms of the Haunting, which funnily enough has a point and click section in it about gathering the 4 elements. There's this sarcophagus. Music is dead. Yeah, I don't even know if you can pick things up. We have all this black space, which is apparently a part of the game. Like, my cursor can hang out there if it wants to. So I don't want to assume, even though I didn't click on certain things last time, because it's very easy to just miss some part of the scene. Even Myst, a game that has a reputation much better than these games. I think this might even be the last Zork game. There's three like point and click ones, I think, and I'm not sure how many. Look at these skulls. I'm not sure how many. Text adventure. You can look down to and see the floor. Look up. Oh yes. We can press Control P. So I believe that is a part of a hint system. We'll see that. I tested this out a week ago, and I just assumed you click this for hints. But I think it turns hints on and off. This, I'm assuming, turns on 3D sound. I don't know, because it's like a pictogram. Apparently I've completed 0 of 9 tasks, and my level is that of an adept. And panel rotation, we're going to turn to slow, for fairly obvious reasons. Hopefully now, still quite fast. We can also Control S for save. You can see that's how far I got. We'll overwrite that because that's our first save. And if, hang on, really, is it really on slow? It really is on slow. When the sun and moon are joined, the entrance to eternity is opened. Pretty easy to figure out. We click on this, we can go, hello, is there anybody? And you've got to click and drag. This one isn't interlaced. I guess it's just the one with actors involved. So the manual, which I have on my phone right now in form of a PDF, has a map, which you can't see because it's not translating. But I've got a map if I want one.
Have you come to seek the alchemists? Don't waste your time. I've killed them all. You can do no good here.
Right, I believe that's Elohim from that robot game. The Talos Principle. There we go. Haha. Apart from me, sounds somehow more American. So there is a forwards and there is a right. I don't actually know where I am on the what. I'm assuming I'm at the entrance. That kind of makes sense, actually. Yes. There is a map in game as well. What I might do is add the map to this screen. Not now, like for tomorrow. But let's go into the library again. So there's lots of interesting looking things in the library. But as far as I know, we have that over there that we can interact with. In fact, I'm just going to immediately do that. I said I'll do everything. So this is a puzzle. I don't quite understand it conceptually, but the puzzle is if you click on these in the right places, they get out of the way and you can go forwards. But I don't actually know what the person in universe has done. But yes. There's lots of fire here. This is the Vitruvian man, of course. The 4 symbols we saw before, the male and female symbol, which I assume are Mars and Venus. We have what I'm going to call an H. Ooh! Sorry, I didn't know you could do that. There we go. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo! Let's stick you back on H. We'll come back to you. I can figure out how to do. Ah, center. Go central. He won't go back to the way he was. And if you turn that, it looks like a kind of like a 4. So those are the 4 symbols that were at the start of the game. We also have a triangle, and I don't know, an eclipse, a moon, something like that. But yes, we can turn the Vitruvian. There we go. We managed to get it set. Cool. I'm unsure as to what that would have spanned, and of course, presumably that area is not on the map. I don't know. I'm not sure how much sense the map makes. That is the H section. Also in this room. Oh yes, of course, that shuts behind you. Lots of interesting looking objects that I don't seem to be able to access. Lots of books. So many books. We're going to read one book. I mean, we'll read them all, but right now we're only going to read one. Which means I have to read this again. The 6th of Mumber from the sarcophagi, they will tell me nothing. Here's the map that I've got, by the way. So I'll take a copy of that and put it on the screen. Maybe I could remove the background, make it look like an element of the game. That would be quite neat if that worked like that. I have all but ripped their throats out, so this is to be expected. How many threats can you use upon the dead? It sickens me to live here, a demon trapped in a temple, but I must finish their work and fuel my hate with the power of quintessence. That's the 5th element, of course. The 22nd of February. Now that I have stolen the 4 elements, earth, air, fire and water, I have hidden them in this unholy temple where they will never be found. I cannot risk their discovery and have employed a great number of not deadly, never deadly, lively machinations to assure their seclusion. The last intruder, that meddling spy, Bivatax, never made it past my gallery, but at least he was able to take some time out of to enjoy the paintings before I bludgeoned him. Envy? That's an N. E-N... I don't know. Either way, however, in the gallery, the flow of time is as circular as the room, and I made the mistake of killing him before he was ever actually born. I hate it when you kill my enemies before they're actually born. I shall wait to see if he returns. 15th of Mage! 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 It is more difficult to forge the 4 alchemical metals than I first thought. I have learned through a painful process of trial and error that it is not safe to keep their elements in their purified form. The 4 are not so stupid as they look. Gaining access to their secret laboratories has been a laboured process. I will go drag a hot poker down Malvaro's rotting belly and see if he cries out something helpful. It's 25th of Olga. I am tired of this game. I've just died. I've ransacked Sartorius' laboratory today, and while blood flowed down the halls, I made little progress. Look, the word little is tiny. In my quest for his tin? I am as impatient as that stupid spy who thought any fistful of dirt, any drop of water, a spark from his fine Acadian cigar, or a mouthful of his foul breath would constitute an element. I must return to my work with elemental air. As I rise up to my lab and pass the twinkling star field, blue reminds me of blue skies and more peaceful time. I can remember little of my life before the evil descended, or my bloody rebirth. Now, we've read one of the books. No, I'm not. We'll read it more later. There's finally this green box. Sorry, I meant to say this brown box has an orb, and this does something. I'm not really sure what that is. So that is... we have ourselves a second room. Right down there.
Why do you persist? My secrets are my own, and no one else's. What you seek will only blacken your heart.
There's a room over there. Isn't a room here, it is just a small room over here. There. And that's where we came. And also go in the middle, where there is a lot of water about. Oh. Okay, I did not click that last time. Curious. Oh. Different way. That's me knocking on the... Okay. Fair enough. And if we check out this way?
Touch what you cannot solve and return to me. I've got the hints, and I'll give you 3. Suggestion, instruction, and direction. The level of hint is at your discretion. But wait a bit before you flee. You must know how to advance through the 3. Touch me then.
Okay. So that's presumably the hint system. They're in some interesting looking rooms. Not going to look at just yet. So we're going a little faster. Though I also made a cup of tea, so not that much faster, to be honest. Be that in a second. Didn't see that. So that looks like maybe it represents air. There's a dragon blowing air at a skeleton man or some shit. I don't know if they're... There's a lady in a violin. Better hide that. Wouldn't want anyone seeing the lady in a violin. So this is the room where I realised the sound wasn't working. So specifically there. It's the violin again. So again, these are the 4 symbols and presumably 4 metals. That is, are they always dragons? Is it the demon? I can't tell what that is, too far away. Sword? Maybe they're just called posters. Oh, I accidentally went up a ladder. We'll do that in a second. Read a book. You will come to see the one thing in its correspondence. As Juperon, the 4 symbol is to tin, which is the... Oh, it is the 4 arrows. Okay. So Juperon, Mars, Saturna, and Venus. We're just going to call them Jupiter, Mars, Saturn, and Venus for the sake of clarity. So as Jupiter is to tin, and air is Mars, is iron and earth, and Saturn is to lead, and fire. Okay, I read that in a silly way. Let's try that one more time. Jupiter, tin, and air. Mars, iron, earth. Saturn, lead, fire. Venus, copper, water. Those are our 12 important elements. Oh fuck, there's more, there's more. We're only doing 9 tasks, so... Okay, we'll read this first. Okay. So Jupiter, the 4 symbol, I don't know if that's the symbol for Jupiter, is to tin, and that is a star sign. That's Capricorn, isn't it? That's Libra. Pisces. And I don't know what the Sagittarius. I do not know. I'm guessing, but obviously I recognise the air, earth, fire, and water. And yeah, I actually already called the Mars and Venus symbols, so I'm going to trust the game and say that that is indeed the Jupiter and Saturn symbols. The body attracts heaven, and this takes place in accordance with the divine order. So it hath been, and so it always must be, from Alpha to Omega, from the beginning of Zork to the end of time. It is true without a certain lie. Right, it is true without lie, certain without doubt, that what is below is like what is above. As above, so below. Yes, of course. And what is above is like what is below, to accomplish the miracles of the one thing. I've forgotten what that's from. As it is above, so it is below. We are mixing lots of... Alpha Omega is a Christian thing. I'm pretty sure it's a Bibli. Let's see. Jupiter, Saturn. It's a Latin version. Gods. But so it is written in the Emerald Table of Hermes. This is the first principle of our great work, one thing. All created things, the condition whereof is transitory and frail. There is only one single principle. All created things proceed from one matter, not each separately from its own peculiar matter. Any imperfect earthly matter can be transmuted into most degree of perfection. On the basis metals in perfect gold, silver be distilled. On the basis mortal flesh can eternal life be wrought. This great mystery lies in the elusive power of the quintessence and quintessia, and the transformative fifth element, the element of spirit, the quintessence. Whoever possesses its secret can unlock the great mystery of the cosmos. Ooh.
February 3. I tried to contact Dr. Vexen about the meaning of the alchemy plate symbols. He told me that all symbols have meanings in alchemy, and that everyone is controlled by the orientation of these symbols. He could not, however, tell me more of use. The man is nearly deaf and blind, a condition that I feel describes perfectly my search for answers. I live every day with the reminder of the horror I have inflicted on the others. Well, their crimes were great, and I had to be judge, jury, and executioner. Yet they do not succumb to my torture. Sartorius seems the weakest, but even that bastard will not break his silence. Last day of the year of the misuse. I've hidden the sources of their powers away from their control. Without them, they are unable to hold back the very elements they use to keep dominion over. I've learned of 4 key steps used in alchemy: sublimation, distillation, calcification, and coagulation. Still, I know there is more to be found. Something is missing, some vital step.
Tempted to write that one down. Yeah, sure, okay.
I've learned of 4 key steps used in alchemy: sublimation, distillation, calcification, and coagulation. Still, I know there is more to be found. Something is missing, some vital step.
So I'm gonna have to listen to it again because I got the first and fourth one. Sublimation, something, coagulation.
I've learned of 4 key steps used in alchemy. sublimation, distillation, calcification, and coagulation. Still, I know there is more to be found. Something is missing, some vital step.
Sublimation, distillation, calcification, calcification, and coagulation. Who else but Quagmire? Ooh. A picture book. It is a scientist looking through some magic ball. It is a sad man leaning against the wall while metal gets removed from a mine. I think he might have an arrow for him. It is a person hiding in a cupboard looking for a hole under a thing. It is somebody looking into the water. The ghost looks back at them. Water. Air. Okay, it's not that many pages. Some small progress. I can now link each of my rotting alchemists with their respective signs. Okay, we'll write this down as well. Malvro. Is fire. I'll tell you what, I'll go back to that thing. And has made a lucrative career of fire worship along the way. Sartorius. Is the Mad Doctor. Is air. Precisely because it is largely this element that fills his pompous brain. Cain must have chosen Earth because his head is filled with sod and his soul is consumed with earthly things. Well, that's how you spell Earth, John. And Sophia. Mistress of the Frigid River. Conservatory is water. As befits the cold hag. I have secreted their alchemical elements away in the temple, employing as security a complicated series of machinations, the solutions to which I alone know. They will never be able to reclaim their powers or their secret science. They will never be able to surpass the nefarious obstacle of the starfields. They will rot, unavenged in hell. Still, I find myself spending endless hours in the lab, with shades drawn. My work with air has been frustrating thus far. I accept the irrefutable precept that air is no colour. I will keep working alone in the dark till I find the best method of purification. But I make no doubt I will possess the four elements and then the four metals. I find the quintessence and forge the eclipse. There's no hatred stronger than the power greater than that will be mine. So we are going to just quickly go to the book because I'm pretty sure that's the four folks. So that is Sartorius. That is Kane. That is Malvro, because Malvro is looking at the sun. And that is Sophia looking at the water. Yes. More importantly. So, fire is Saturn and lead. Saturn. Gonna have the H symbol. And lead. That is M. Tail. Air. Sartorius is air. Oh fuck! I need to. Fire. Fire is triangle. White triangle. Air is inverted white triangle. Earth is inverted black triangle. And water is an black triangle. So, also with air, Jupiter, which is going to call the 20th symbol, and tin, Pisces symbol, H, Earth, which is Cain, is Mars, which is of course the male symbol, and Iron, which is another fucking M. Okay, I wrote the wrong symbol for lead. And water, finally, is Venus. It's the symbol and copper. The Pisces symbol, I said that twice as well, but you know what I mean, it's the water symbol. No, it's Aquarius. Sorry, yes. Tin is Pisces, copper's Aquarius, iron is... Fuck no. One of them is Capricorn. There we go. There's my notes. They are mirrored, for I am mirrored. And I'll transfer some of those to my scene notes. I don't have constant pieces of paper. See, I can't really do much about the symbols. Make cleaner versions of those. Whiteboard, which is right over there, I could just get. Let's get it. So, if we... Hang on, let's look at the map together. Fucking books to read. So we've been in the lab, we've been in the library there. So we now know that H is this is the Malvro section, presumably. That kind of makes sense, because there was lots of candles and shit. Can be on. But if we go up, there's that room. Yeah, we'll check out that room next. That is the hint mural. Um, oh, it's already set. H. Actually, I don't actually know how to set this. Left hand, right hand, left foot, right foot, maybe? If it is that, it's probably gonna be 5 extremities. These. It's either going to be that or that. I don't know. Cool. I mean, did I solve that, or did I just? I guess I should save that. I solved a puzzle? I mean, that could have been very easily brute forced. Well, I guess what I figured out, I'm assuming at some point we're going to find out that the left hand, right foot, head is going to be associated with all this shit. And I knew that one of those symbols is just irrelevant in all those cases. The moon, the eclipse symbol was irrelevant. So that was where I put his between the legs. Presumably, we're going to set this alight. We can see evidence of fire. Fire section. Sections up here. Astronomy for a new age. The Brogmoid fallacy, or why the Earth is not flat after all, by Dr. Carl Sagan, PhD, Chaos House Press. Just in case we needed reminding, Saturn X, Play-Doh, minus Zork, which is our Earth, Jupiter, Venus, and Hermes, which is Pluto. Is it? Whatever. We only care about these 4 anyway. Zork. We invite all citizens of the Empire to read this book, to ponder in their hearts the message it contains, and ask the implementers, in the name of Yorick himself, if it is not undeniably, irrefutably, and without doubtedly true, those who pursue this course, right and proper course of science and progress, rather than clinging to the older tenets of the fearful and folkish Brogmoidism, and it is not simply the good nature of this one fellow that keeps it and us from falling into the great void. Getting sick of these damned eclipses. Planet must be fully in light. Guess it's the demon that's making notes. That was a pretty quick one. Interview with a Guru by Andrew Ziebler. Very good. The Guru in his natural habitat. So in the text-based Zork games, you don't walk into the darkness because you'll immediately die. You'll get eaten by a Guru. I think in one of the text games that is true as well. In one of the point and clicks, I mean. The air in the room lay deadly still. Hang on, let's see how long it is. Or just the one page, fine. The air in the room lay deadly still, thick with the stench of Gru in confinement. I could make out just his faint profile in the darkness, the barest glint of his razor claws, the fainted gurgle of his fetid breath. I took a step closer, was about to introduce myself, when suddenly the gargling grew louder, a sort of gnashing of great teeth, and lo, the hulking bully drew a gleaming bone from his jaws, tossed it to the floor with a grunt, clattered at my feet, and as I looked down, I saw that it is still. Don't know how to turn the page. Oh, I hope that's not important. Rest of the new Zorka. Going ons about the Empire. Are the recently evacuated Forbidden Lands really cursed? Or is Regent Syovar simply becoming paranoid now that the Enchanters Guild composes the first substantial challenge to his political supremacy? The theory of the curse seems legitimated by the dark series of earthquakes, droughts and missing persons, and general ill humour of the inhabitants of the region following the great eclipse. Through the guild, though the guild denies responsibility for any black magic in the region, disappearance of General Kane from the Iron Dune suggests political conspiracy. And since we know the trolls, orcs, and gnomes of the Flathead Mountains are only waiting for the slightest hint of civil strife to take their own claim to the corner of the Empire, the clock is ticking on the Forbidden Lands. We made a small journey to the desolate region south of Aragain, venturing southwest of the Frigid River to find out. Alchemy of Pure Love by C. Barajaz. Explore this further in lab. There is a thing confusedly formed, born before heaven and earth, silent and void, stands alone and does not change, goes round and does not weary, is capable of being the mother of the world. Pure love, the willing and eternal joining of two souls, is the fifth element, the quintessence of the philosopher's stone. The sun and the moon are two magical principles, one active, the other passive, the masculine and the feminine. There is not a compound in all nature that hath in these two luminaries a little sun and a little moon. Seems a bit Excerpt from My Best Excesses by Lord Dimwit Flathead. Chapter 1 on taxes, as I will summarise in the following 1100 pages. 99% tax rate is a mere pittance, and nothing worth doing in this empire can be done for any less than full 100%. My next 2,000 or 3,000 tax bills should further illumine my immensely keen feelings on this subject. Suffice to say that the forward-thinking legislation of an elector Luisha, the 22nd, the 16th, shall stand. Dismember Dimwit Flathead to the people of the Pendor. Anyone withholding payment of all taxes decreed for this date shall be killed, along with anyone else they've ever met. I've known my share of detractors. A ruler so excessively wise and excessively handsome shall always excessively flatters myself, will always find himself subject to pernicious slander. There will always be some who lack vision. Why is it written in? Some who think we cannot afford. Maybe in the concept of the erect a new continent, their own excellent image. Some who doubt that we require, if that were an issue, underground flood dam where there is no rain, as if the inspired work of a philosopher king governed by the vicissitudes of the weather. I'm convinced, however, that the statue of my royal selfness that I am erecting in Fublio Valley will be... Ah. Can I keep it? I don't know where my inventory is. Ah. Interesting. We want it pointed at fire, don't we? But I don't know what's pointing. Like, is that pointing at a thing? Because I have got to remove this. Okay, alright. I don't mind accidentally doing that last puzzle because it was kind of logical. I have no fucking clue what I did there, so I'm actually going to load my game. We've not actually done anything but read books, so I don't have to read those books again. Control L? Ow. What's the controls? Control R. So you can't turn this one around. Control S is save. So we know the fire symbol is Saturn, so we're gonna deliberately point it at that H and see if that's what does it. Okay, that's what happened. Fair enough. That seems very brute forcible. So we're gonna have to make sure we save before so we don't accidentally solve puzzles. I see no reason to keep the mirror there. Okay, that's what. Why doesn't want me to put a mirror down? Are there multiple mirrors? Feels a bit safer to just shove this down. There is a blue candle there. See, I worry we're just gonna accidentally solve the puzzle by experimenting. Okay, so the good news is that this is not a brute forcible puzzle. There was a blue candle there. So I'm guessing I need to click on that. Oh, fuck. Ooh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's see the quintessence in the middle there. Lovely. I've guessed we teleported forwards.
Bless you, good brother. Ah, fire.
I know you.
Spark of the universe. I feel the heat in my very soul. The Nemesis. My daughter Alexandria was his victim. Brilliant. Beautiful. And he killed her simply because she got in the way. I couldn't save her. And for that, I'll burn yet. Sometimes I feel her spirit here. I hear her music. Please, help us. There is a way to bring her back.
Alright, so I'm sensing the fifth element is probably music. That'll be Malvro.